Hi Miłosz. So you're a plant manager for Hager Group and you have a fantastic story to talk about the greenfield project. Can you just explain in a few words what this project consisted in?
So on the greenfield project, it was building a new factory, approximately 20,000 square meters with the full infrastructure, outside infrastructure, inside infrastructure, also part of the production transfers. The budget was 15 million euro. The execution was 11 months.
Only 11 months?
Yes, from the first tick, all the permits, all installations, building, constructions. The project was implemented last year. So the execution time 11 months for 20,000 square meters. Within this 20,000 square meters, approximately 5,000 square meters for the offices and the social infrastructure.
How many people are working in this?
How many people? So we foreseen to have in the factory up to 1,000 people.
So 1,000 people, and you built this factory in 11 months?
11 months,
okay.
Yes.
And before that you had preparation, true?
Yes, the preparation was 10 months. Execution 11 months.
Okay, so 10 months plus 11 months.
This preparation time was also to create a business case, to convince the board of directors, to prepare a full technical specification, also to work on the contract with developer, to create a team, train a team, and also to prepare all the parts of the project which not developer will do, but our company, Hager, by ourselves.
Everything.
Yes, everything. From the blank paper to cut the ribbon.
You used the critical chain approach, the methodology from the theory of constraints. Can you give us a bit more details about how you proceeded? How many plans did you have? Did you have, for example, one plan for the preparation and another one for the construction? Was it just one plan for the full project?
At the beginning, I rather used some methods to work with the team, which was not theory of constraints,
okay,
but rather some simple things like giving some task and checking what is the status. But it was the preparation phase. But we can say that in the third month of preparation, I said to myself that I have to change the way of managing the project. And then I focus how to use the critical chain. And working with the developer, there are some big parts of the activities that you cannot do it by yourself. It's someone else is doing. To convince them, we have to work on the very good contract that the partner will work using critical chain.
So it's definitely possible to get the subcontractors, the partners to work based on the critical chain methodology, true?
Yes, especially when you have a very good contract, and in the contract you focus what is our goal. So first to set up that we have the same objective, the developer and the customer. Having this, it's a main frame, it's a main contract for all the other contracts. So having the good contract based on the critical chain with your developer, with your general constructor, then the other contracts we just adapted to have the same way of communication, the same way of rewarding, the same way of penalties. And there was like a standard, the chain, that key contracts we have, we prepared in the same way.
Then you had this critical chain plan for the construction project, true?
Yes, it was also written in the contract. We worked for several weeks with the contractor to create a good planning for critical chain. It was very challenging. The
question is, what is a good plan?
First, we call this big picture.
Okay.
Big picture means it was not only a construction. Big pictures, it were big milestones from the beginning of the project. We have this blank paper till the end. The end for us, we have the profitable business. So it's not only to build a building. It's rather, yes, we are building for something. So we have to provide the transfers. We have to put the people over there. We have to start to produce in the most efficient way. So end of the project is producing after production transfers, not only to have a building.
So you also have a nature work stream?
In our case, there were those big milestones in a big picture.
Okay.
Then when you go deeper to one of the big milestone, like transferring injection department, you have several actions how to do it, and when to do it, and what is the predecessor to implement it, and what are the next actions.
I was asking, what is a good plan? So you have a Gantt chart. Can you give us more explanations on the level of details that you have, if you have different levels of details?
We use Gantt chart only for the executives, just to show them, because they used to have this visual aspect. However, in the operational implementation of the project, we never use the Gantt chart. We use a very visual way to see our big milestones in Flying Logic, because then you see the consequences.
In Flying Logic, it's a software, true?
It's a software. You can see on the blocks what is before, what is after.
It's like a PERT.
It's like a PERT, yes, similar to PERT. So we can say that was even the highest level, just to see the vision that the executive will see, how many things we have to do and how they are connected to each other. We call this level 1 planning.
How many blocks or tasks?
On the big picture, it was about 15 for the journey, which was 2 years.
15 blocks
for 2 years.
Okay. So in Flying Logic, you have 15 blocks?
Yes.
Only? Okay.
15 blocks in Flying Logic. And we never change it.
So it was very stable?
Very stable.
Because the logic was really robust?
Yes. Having this robust logic, you don't need to change your planning on such a big level.
Is it enough to have just this big picture?
No, it's rather to show what we have to do in a big achievements, big milestones. But this is the drawing or the chart that will not explain to you
what you have to do.
What you have to do tomorrow, the day after,
on the
daily basis. And we prepare 4 levels of planning. So having a big picture that was, you can say, even 0 before. The first level, within this one block of the big picture, we prepared our main achievements, main milestones, some actions that you will not change them during the execution. They will be stable. Time can change, but when we talk about the results will not change. So the logic will stay, because the logic was fixed. Level 2, how we have to do on the daily or weekly basis to have this level above done.
So it means all the activities within one block. True?
Yes, all the activities within one block. In that level, there could be or can be some changes, because the reality is not constant. In many cases, it's not as you planned. A lot of things happening.
You can add new actions.
You can add new actions. You can cancel some actions. You have the actions to mitigate your risk. So there are plenty of ideas how to manage this on the daily basis to achieve your objective from the one block.
All these activities, is it just an Excel file? Is it a list, a checklist, paper? How do you see it? How do you use it on a daily basis or weekly basis?
In the complex project, you can use for sure Excel, you can use some list, but time to check what is happening and time to be sure what is the risk in front of the future task and which task can cause you delay in overall execution. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but you will spend more time to think about it than to execute. So we implement a dedicated software to support us when we talk about critical chain implementation. However, all the logic that we are talking about, we put there inside. So we get frequent information, what is happening on our level 1 and level 2 activities, answering on basic questions. There was a task manager, and just a simple question, how many days to finish?
There is one manager per activity within one block, or a manager for the full block with all the activities within the block?
Different approaches.
Okay.
Depends on the situation. We try to put the responsibility for the group of tasks for someone who has also the empowerment to act, to do, to delegate to the people. In our organization, in most cases, task manager is also the manager of the team. Then he can distribute the task, having also organizations that it's not 100% dedicated to the project execution. They are running also their own daily activities.
Yes.
So it's much better to put the responsibility to the manager, because then he can manage and balance. Okay, first we are going to focus on the project activities because we see that there's a potential risk of delay. if we can say on the green, on the safe zone, we can manage this a little bit longer because we have also some operational duties.
So you have this big Gantt chart for executives with 15 blocks. Then you have the activities for the task managers, and then I know that you use the Kanban board. So can you explain how it worked?
In a big project, a complex project, the activity is still a lot of things to do. It can be that this activity in normal situation you will treat as a project, but having 15...
Can you give us an example?
Installation of overhead cranes. 3 overhead cranes.
So the big cranes,
in the factory.
Yes.
Yes. So normally this kind of activities you will put as a project. I need to install 3 overhead cranes. In our case, there was a T2 task. So how to do it? It's not only that I put the fingers and the cranes are installed. We had a task manager. We implement the physical Kanban board, and core people from the greenfield implementation new factory, we have our names on the Kanban boards. So then the simple blocks like something that we have to do, ready to pull. So we are waiting to start this activity in progress. So in progress, how many activities right now we are running with the responsibility of individual people? Done. So we done the activity and validated. Some activities we have to validate it that they were really done.
Does it mean that you had one Kanban board just for installing the cranes, or you had a central Kanban board with different types of projects, like installing the cranes?
Different kind of projects on the Kanban board regarding to the greenfield implementation.
Oh, yes.
And this Kanban board and the task manager, he put some small post-its, how to do it, what should be first, what should be second. So he implemented on that way. On top of that, to be sure that we are running in the good direction, every move between the Kanban blocks, we put a stamp with the date.
Yes.
So we knew, okay, it's the task is ongoing for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And also we could very easily see how many tasks in progress particular task manager is implementing. Sometimes just to help with situation, then one task manager had 10. Because there was a pressure of time of some activities on the Kanban. However, the others, they have 1 or 2. So having a frequently meeting on daily basis, we help to each other.
So it was on a daily basis that you were reviewing the Kanban board. And how many post-its approximately on the Kanban board?
50.
50?
More
okay.
or less. 50.
And how many people gathering around the...
latest stage, it was 6 to 7 people.
Not that much.
Not that
for
much.
A big factory.
Yes, but that was not the last level of tracking activities.
Okay. So even another level of details, even more details?
Even more details. The last level was the level that we discover after 3 months of execution of the factory on the field.
So building the factory.
Yes, building the factory, we discover that we have our Kanban activity. However, is still a huge number of actions to be done. More than one. So if I have to do something and these are more than one actions, and I have to call to someone, I need to take some documentation, I need to organize some meetings, I need to discuss with 1, 2, 3 or 4 people. Also have a planning even for this small action which is on Kanban board. And we realize that as a team, we have to act in a different Kanban post-its on different people. Due to our time to spend to build the factory, we were not efficient. We were not efficient.
Collaboration was difficult.
Yes, difficult because when someone had a Kanban board, would like to finish as soon as possible.
He needs his colleagues.
Yes, and he needs his colleague to cooperate, to support, to help. And we had no clear idea how to manage properly. So then we implemented another way, another method, which is also very powerful when you combine this with critical chain, is getting things done. Getting things done, they are treat the project in a little bit different way. If you have to do something and there is more than 2 steps or 3 steps to do it, for getting things done, it's a small project. And you have to plan this. We are planning this in a very easy way. You put your deliverables, what does it mean? And the best way is to put in a past tense, the full description. So that means that you've done something. Or we did it something.
I have called the subcontractor to install the crane.
Crane are installed by the company XYZ.
Okay.
And that's the name of the task. So you put your deliverable, However, you ask basic questions to yourself or to your colleague. What is the next actions? What do you have to do to move forward? Even 1 centimeter, even 1 inch. What do you have to do? Sometimes it's make a call because I don't know what to do. So first I need to understand what I have to do. To whom should you call? It's that colleague. So do you have number? Yes, I have it. Do you have 5 minutes? Yes, call him. You don't think too much on the planning. You have your end results and you think only about the next actions, but real next actions can be 5 minutes actions. However, you are closer to your deliverable.
But is it a personal improvement, personal development, or is it something that you share with your colleagues too?
We did it across we call them container team. We get some trainings and we start to use it as a team. Okay. As a team, how to cooperate, how to know where we are, how to be efficient. We did some cross-checking, like show me you're getting things done, how you work on daily basis. So you say, I will show my getting things done.
So it's like a paper, there's a framework.
In these times, we use Microsoft. It's Outlook, it's Microsoft To Do.
Okay.
And doing in a very easy way. You can implement with the success within a week. And it's not only regarding the project, it's also if you want to be efficient in your professional and also what you are doing in your private life.
So to track what you have to do and getting things done.
Yes, it's to track what you have to do and to have a very good flow on your activities, what you are doing. And sometimes is to find the chances when you are at the city. You take a phone, you see the list city. And already you know, I'm at the city. So these are my reminders. And if I will do or not to do, it's up to me. However, I have a chance to do it, to avoid situations that you are at home and then you think, I was in the city, I forgot about this, and that. So it's a very good method combined with the critical chain.
You improve all the levels of project management from the big picture to make sure that you have a robust and logic approach down to the everyday management of the tasks which are required to build a factory in just 11 months.
Yes, we try to cover all activities, not only having a vision for the executives, but also having a way to execute on the lowest level, where even when you have to make a call, not to forget about this call.
And then you have to discriminate between the important tasks and the non-critical tasks. So you had the critical chain and the fever chart, true?
Yes.
So can you explain how you set the priorities or how you improve the focus of the management teams, but also of the experts?
During the execution of the greenfield of the new factory, within a team, there was a teamwork. When we look into our planning, we choose, which are the most critical points, which are the most critical deliverables that we have to track. And they were our priorities.
Because they were on the longest sequence of tasks of the project?
Yes, but before even we implement to the IT tool, we use the flip chart, we use the post-its, we put estimated time to do some activities and who is going to do it using the markers and calculator. And due to that, even before we prepare a very detailed project planning, we already knew what will be the key points. In our case, it was an automated warehouse. When we have the layout of the factory, we knew that the automated warehouse is left down corner. So all the physical activities like building a construction, putting all the infrastructure, we start from that corner. Everything was started from there just to have early access. After 4 months, we could already started to do some actions regarding automated warehouse with another subcontractor. So we knew this from the flip chart asking the proper questions, and then we implemented to the tool.
Did you manage also the resources? Because if you have resource shortages, you have to stagger the tasks to level the load. Was it taken into account or not really?
For the construction, when most of the actions you put to the external subcontractors, it was rather to put the name of the companies that they are doing some activities and having a very good communication few times per week. If there was a risk, there was a daily communication, but also combined with the visiting on the field. If we were on the risk, so together We put our jackets, our protective personal equipment. We went just to see the execution and talk where we are. What can we do?
It's a Gemba.
It was a Gemba. How to anticipate and how to work, how to have some another actions to speed up.
It was, of course, not just about proper planning. It's also about detecting the problems, reacting faster than usual with the teams, looking at the problems on the shop floor directly.
And communication.
So
good relations, because when you work with some external parties like subcontractors, and they are experienced, they did a lot of constructions. We are like a customers. So it's have a good level of communication and understanding that customer is not to find the issues, problems just to put penalties. It's rather that we were there, full-time job, like 5-6 people in container to help them to execute. 2-3 months to get this trust. After those 3-2 months, they already knew that we are there to help them. After the constructions, when we asked what was the key success factor from their point of view, the answer was first, we solve any issue very fast. Decisions which we made, we did very fast. Great communication, and we were there to help, and we show them also the potential risk from the fever charts.
Yeah.
What could happen? Mm-hmm. And then we start to discuss how we can cooperate together.
And you start to see that everything is related, because if you want good communication, you have to define who should talk to whom. Mm-hmm. And you also need to know what to talk about. So looking at the shop floor directly, on the Gemba, plus having these detailed activities, mm-hmm. because then you know where to focus, what to talk about, check if it's on track or not, and detect the problems. All these activities, all these things that you introduced, they were all useful in the end to get the factory built in just 11 months.
Yeah, it was like a full package.
Yes.
Not only having a tool, not only having a method, not only having a good contract. When you combine this in one solution, under theory of constraints, we can say umbrella, you can have an opportunity and chance to get such as fantastic results.
Yeah, excellent. So thank you very much, Miłosz. It was super interesting, and I hope it will be useful.
Thank you.